it was just that kind of night.
Nicole, it's a 30-20-20. No one's ever done it. I mean, like, you make it look easy. Tim Legler, who's calling the game, says, I've never seen anything like it.
Only 3 players in the history of the NBA have ever averaged a triple-double for a season: Oscar Robertson, Russell Westbrook, and Nikola Jokic. But Nikola Jokic is the only one with a 30-20-20 triple-double game. Now that's a double triple-double, and such a historical record cannot be repeated again. Why? Because getting a triple-double requires a unique combination of skills, size, team context, and endurance.
One of the best players, if not the best player of all time, so the gravity that he has, you guys showed at the beginning a video of me catching that tip dunk, or the alley dunk at the beginning, but it was the gravity that Joker has,
That gravity is a result of how he combines these qualities, and it will be nearly impossible for other players to ever replicate. But let's take a look at these qualities, how they shaped his game, and why it will be almost impossible to replicate, leaving Nikola Jokic as the only one with the historical record. When people talk about Nikola Jokic's triple-doubles, they usually start with the numbers. But numbers don't tell you why he's the only player who could ever pull off something like a 30-20-20 game. Those numbers are just history. Let's talk about the artistry. Since the late 80s, we've seen legends carve defenses in different ways. Magic Johnson had the flash, Bird had the vision, Stockton had the precision, but Jokic has got all of it, but in a 6-foot, 11-inch body that's supposed to be lumbering, not gliding. He's basically turned the center position into a point guard's playground. Take that March 8th, 2025 masterpiece against the Suns, the first ever 30-20-20 in NBA history. Jokic had his hands on the pulse of the game. He's not only able to find the open man, but with his pass, he can create even more space for the player, whether it's Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, or whoever. But at the same time, this playmaking leaves defenders confused on what to do about him. Should we attack him, or should we worry about his teammates?
But they didn't start this game out great defensively, but let's see the fight back. That's also been an issue.
Here's 17 for Durant. Over the head pass by Brown and Jokic.
But got it to go.
Here's Jokic, who scored the last 7 points for Denver. Gets past Plumlee. Little half hook with the left hand goes.
Now, when you add that playmaking genius to his efficiency, you can see why he's just head and shoulders ahead of everyone when it comes to triple-doubles. This separates him from someone like Westbrook, whose triple-doubles were powered by sheer athletic force. That 2017 MVP season was iconic, but his efficiency sat at 42%. Jokic just put up his record line on nearly 60% shooting, and he did it within the flow of the offense, not by bulldozing his way to the rim. And speaking of Westbrook, Nikola Jokic will catch Russell on the triple-doubles rankings this season. How? Well, when you stack it up, the vision of a point guard, the touch of a shooter, and the rebounding instincts of a Hall of Fame big, it's no wonder how easily the triple-doubles come to him. But skill alone doesn't tell the full story, because if Jokic wasn't built like an immovable wall at 6 foot 11 inches, 284 pounds, none of this works the same way. The Joker's size and playmaking is unlike anything the NBA has ever seen before. Back in the 1990s, big men like Shaq dominated because of raw force. But for the first time, we're seeing a player pair that strength with incredible balance, and that is why his rebounding numbers are elite. Over the past 3 seasons, Jokic has averaged more than 12 boards per game, and it's not just about size. It's how he can read the ball's direction as well as plays from his teammates and just impose his will with his size.
Shot clock down at 4 now, behind the back, Murray. Three-pointer is up, and an air ball, but Jokic is there! The screen is on him, now they clear it out, Jokic backing his way in. And Jokic goes to the basket and scores easily.
Here's where it gets even crazier. Most guys his size are slow-footed, but Jokic moves with a deceptive quickness. Not speed like Giannis or Embiid, but the kind of footwork that lets him slip past defenders before they realize what just happened. Watch him in the post, and you will see spins, pivots, and soft hooks that look straight out of Hakeem's library. And it's not just offense. On defense, he has become underrated. He's never going to be a shot blocker like Gobert, but Jokic's size lets him wall off the paint and absorb contact without fouling. During Denver's 2023 title run, he held opponents to under 50% shooting at the rim when he was the primary defender. That's not flashy, but it wins championships. The funny part is that Jokic never looks like the most imposing guy on the court. And that's because his size is not about intimidation, it's about inevitability. Just look at how he makes Anthony Davis look like a rookie here.
This team with one timeout left. Lakers in the penalty, Jokic backing his way down over Anthony Davis, he scores again! He's at 11 first quarter points. Jokic fires it up over Davis and hits it.
But this is what multiplies his skills. A 6'11" passer is already hard to defend. But a 6'11" passer who's too strong to move off his spot and too skilled to rush? That is something the league has simply never dealt with before. However, that's not all it takes to record a double, triple-double, because although size and skills make Jokic unstoppable, another factor that raises his game is his understanding of the team around him. You can think of Nikola Jokic as the sun in Denver's solar system. The Nuggets are not just a team with Jokic, they are a team built for the Joker. But when have we ever witnessed an NBA championship-winning team built around an unathletic player that was drafted during a taco commercial? Well, when you keep that in mind, then you will understand why everything is different with the Joker, including the team dynamics. Take the January 2nd, 2025 win against Atlanta. On that day, Jokic became the first player in NBA history to record 20 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists in under 30 minutes. But how did he do it? Was he just stat padding, or was he actually controlling the game? See for yourself.
15 seconds. Bounce to Jokic, under the pick. Now Jokic with it. Back to Russell Westbrook, who lays it in.
He's always right in the middle of things. The back cuts, transition moves, post moves. He knows how to find his spots and where his teammates find theirs. Those 15 assists came from every angle imaginable. And as for the rebounds, he was simply outworking Clint Capella on both ends. Also, Coach Michael Malone deserves credit here. He runs everything through Jokic at the elbow or high post, turning him into a control tower. Murray and Porter Jr. stretch defenses while Gordon times his cuts perfectly. That mix of spacing, rim pressure, and balance is like handing Jokic a cheat code. Because if the play is open, Jokic will find it. And if it's not, he creates it. Also, the modern NBA game is faster than ever, with 99 possessions per game. Naturally, that should be a problem for a player that seems slow, but not Jokic. His unselfish nature and accuracy means when the ball is in his hands, it's as good as being in the hands of an open teammate.
Which is good news for Denver, most of it. Now Jokic against Capella. He can shoot that shot. He does. And nails it.
And even if the defense is spread out to make sure there's no open teammate, there's always an open basket.
Jokic 20, 16, and 14. Jokic, three-pointer, first one of the night. That's good!
However, with nearly 13 threes falling per game across the league, spacing is at a premium. So every factor opens passing lanes and amplifies the exact skill set that makes him unstoppable. However, with Jokic's new team, you can bet on a jump in his number of assists. The additions of Cameron Johnson and Tim Hardaway Jr. should provide reliable spot-up options off Jokic's passes, potentially increasing made baskets from his dimes. Simply put, with Jokic, every piece makes sense, every teammate is a weapon, and every possession runs through him. But here's the thing. A system this good is only as effective as the guy powering it every single night. That is where Jokic's endurance comes in, and why his engine is as important as his talent. Nikola Jokic's endurance is the final piece of the puzzle. The man simply does not break down. In an era of load management where stars miss games just to preserve their bodies, Jokic is out there night after night stacking 36-minute outings like it's 1995 all over again. Take that unforgettable 61-point, 10-rebound, 10-assist game against Minnesota. Most players would be gassed by the fourth quarter, sucking wind just to get up and down the floor. But Jokic was still orchestrating the offense, still boxing out Karl Anthony Towns, and still dropping dimes to Aaron Gordon like the game had just started. He logged 44 minutes that night and looked fresher than half the guys who came off the bench. This durability is not a fluke. Since 2020, Jokic has played in over 95% of Denver's games. He's as reliable as an old-school workhorse like Karl Malone, who barely missed games in his prime. But unlike Malone, Jokic is carrying an even heavier offensive load, touching the ball more than any player in the league while still producing elite efficiency. And this efficiency is also what separates him from the only player still playing that shares the record of averaging a triple-double in a season: Westbrook. Westbrook lacks the efficiency to keep up with the production he once had. Also, with the league focusing more on shooting threes and ISO plays, there's no player that can even get close to catching Jokic. But besides player ability, Denver also trusts him to be the offense every single possession, and he delivers without showing cracks. Now, some people might argue and say, couldn't Giannis or Embiid match him with more games played? Well, the answer is simply no. Both those guys have had stretches where injuries derailed entire seasons. Jokic has never had that kind of interruption. The combination of high usage, massive workload, and nearly unbreakable health is something we haven't seen for a big man in decades, maybe ever. And it's why no center will ever catch him. His body allows him to sustain the brilliance that other stars can only flash in spurts. However, Jokic's triple-doubles will likely increase this season with the additions of Valanciunas and Moses Brown. These guys add depth at center, allowing Jokic to play fewer minutes and conserve energy without sacrificing boards. Better wing defense from Johnson and Brown could lead to more defensive stops, giving Jokic additional rebound opportunities. So, you can rest assured that no center will ever catch him. Nikola Jokic is the first and only center to have the most triple-doubles in the NBA. And when you put it all together, skill sharper than anyone at his size, a 7-foot frame that moves like a guard, a Nuggets team built around his genius, and endurance that defines modern trends, you start to understand why no other known player is even close or on pace to catch Jokic. So, what should we expect this new season with the spacing that will come from having shooters like Johnson and Hardaway? That should prevent defenses from collapsing on him in the post, leading to easier buckets and free throws. But what do you expect from the Nuggets this season? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. However, to some, Nikola Jokic is an exciting NBA player who will always deliver a great performance. But to others, the truth of Nikola Jokic as an NBA player is different. Watch it next, here.